Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a topic that's as wild as it is weird: historical beauty hacks. Have you ever wondered how people dealt with their skin problems in the past, or what lengths they went to for beauty? No? Well, buckle up because you're about to find out, like putting animal bladder on your skin to get rid of wrinkles, or binding feet to get tiny toes. Weird, right? That these are 13 strangest things women did for beauty in history. But first, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss another video. Number 1. Blood-ingested pills for rosy cheeks. Imagine we're back in the Victorian era, a time when women were looking for that perfect rosy cheeks to make them look eternally youthful. But instead of just dusting on a little blush, these ladies took their beauty routine to a whole new level of bizarre. What's their secret weapon, you ask? Pills made from powdered animal blood. Yes, actual blood. They believed that these strange pills would boost blood flow to their cheeks, giving them that natural flush. But it wasn't all rosy. There were serious risks, like health problems from consuming unsafe animal products. Can you imagine the lengths they went to for beauty? Number 2. Boiled mice to treat acne. Now, let's hop over to the Elizabethan era, where acne was a social disaster. I mean, who wants to show up to a fancy event with a breakout? Not these ladies. Their solution? Boiling mice. That's right. They would take these little critters, boil them down, and create a paste from their remains to slather on their skin. Because nothing says clear skin quite like a face mask made from rodents. This method not only sounds pretty gross, but also posed high risks of infection and unsanitary conditions. Can you imagine the conversation? Oh, you're using that fancy new skincare line? I'm just using boiled mice. Number 3. Antimony powder eyeliner. Let's travel back to ancient Egypt and the Middle East, where beauty wasn't just about looking good, it was about mystical protection too. Women there used crushed antimony powder, a toxic metallic element, to line their eyes, creating those sultry, dramatic looks we often associate with Cleopatra. They thought it would ward off the evil eye and protect them from the glaring sun. But here's the kicker: long-term use could lead to antimony poisoning and nasty eye infections. Talk about beauty coming at a cost. Who knew looking fabulous could be so hazardous? Number 4. Ironing hair for straightening. Straight, sleek hair was the ultimate style in the Victorian and Edwardian eras, a sign of elegance, control, and refinement. But without modern tools, women had to improvise. And their solution? Ironing their hair. Literally. Here's how it worked. They'd lay their hair flat across an ironing board, like a piece of fabric, and press it with a hot clothes iron, the same iron used to get wrinkles out of their dresses. No fancy straighteners, no heat settings, just pure, open flame heat. One wrong move, and it wasn't just the curls that got flattened. Many ended up with severe burns, singed hair, and a whole lot of regret. It was high risk for high fashion, and the results were, well, let's say it left some in need of more than just a touch-up. Number 5. Bladder wrinkle patches. Moving on to 17th century Europe, where women were desperately trying to keep their skin looking youthful. What did they come up with? Bladder patches. Yes, you heard that right. They would take thin slices of animal bladders and stick them to their faces in hopes of smoothing out wrinkles. It's like they thought, if we can't beat Father Time, let's just tape some animal parts to our faces. But these patches brought along some truly unpleasant risks, like bacterial infections and a smell that was anything but glamorous. Number 6. Urine-soaked clothes for skin softening. Medieval European women had a rather unique approach to skincare. These women believed they had unlocked a beauty secret that could make their skin soft, smooth, and even lighter. And the magic ingredient? Urine. Yes, they'd soak their clothes in good old-fashioned pee, thinking the ammonia found in pee would work wonders on their skin. Can you imagine it? Walking around, day in and day out, dressed in urine-soaked garments like it was just the latest beauty trend. It was practically the eau de toilette of its time, except, you know, without the luxury. The results, however, weren't quite as glamorous as they'd hoped. Skin irritation was a common issue, and let's face it, that lingering odor probably didn't win them any fans. Number 7. Glass spheres to enlarge eyes. Now let's fast forward to the 19th century, when women were obsessed with achieving larger, more alluring eyes. The solution? Placing small glass discs right under their eyelids. Just imagine, you're getting ready for an evening gathering, slipping glass into your eyes in the name of beauty. They thought these little glass discs would create that wide-eyed, captivating look. But in reality, they often ended up with scratched corneas, serious eye infections, or in some cases, permanent damage. Number 8. Almond shells as early mascara. Back in ancient Egypt, women were all about that intense eye look. They wanted dark, striking lashes and brows to add mystery and power to their gaze. Their solution? Burnt almond shells. They would take almonds, burn them until they turned to ash, and then mix the ash with oils to create a kind of early mascara. This powdery mixture was carefully applied to lashes and brows, making their eyes pop. But, like a lot of ancient beauty hacks, there was a catch. The ash particles weren't exactly eye-safe. They often caused eye irritation and could even damage vision if it got into the eyes. So, while they achieved that bold look, they risked some pretty serious eye problems. Can you imagine using something like this today? Number 9. Binding feet. In ancient China, a small, delicate foot was considered the epitome of beauty and high status, leading to the practice of foot binding. This started as early as the 10th century and lasted for hundreds of years, especially among elite families. Girls as young as 4 would have their feet tightly bound with cloth, which folded the toes under the sole and pressed the arch to keep it as short as possible. Over time, the foot would become permanently deformed to achieve what was called a lotus foot, a tiny, arched foot seen as beautiful and feminine. While lotus feet were admired, the process was excruciating and came with severe consequences. Many women suffered lifelong pain, limited mobility, and even permanent disability. It was beauty at a huge cost, but it was seen as worth it for the status it brought. Could you imagine enduring something like this? Number 10. Mouse fur eyebrows. In 18th century England, bold eyebrows were all the rage. But if a woman's brows were thinning or she had overplucked them, she didn't have a quick fix like we do now. Instead, turned to a rather unusual solution. Mouse fur. Yes, they would trap mice, remove the fur, and shape it into strips to fashion fuller-looking brows. The fur strips were then glued or pasted above the eyes as eyebrow replacements, making their faces appear more symmetrical and on-trend. As strange as it sounds, this hack did the job, but it came with its own set of risks. Hygiene was a big one. Animal fur could harbor bacteria, and decaying fur wasn't exactly pleasant. Number 11. Arsenic complexion enhancer. During the Victorian era, pale skin was all the rage, as it symbolized a life of leisure and high social status, since being tan suggested you had to work outside. Victorian women who wanted a pale, smooth complexion often turned to a very dangerous solution: arsenic. They would consume small doses of arsenic pills or apply arsenic-based creams directly to their skin, thinking it would lighten their complexion and give them a soft porcelain look. The problem? Arsenic is highly toxic. This beauty treatment often led to severe poisoning, skin lesions, hair loss, and even organ damage. In some cases, it even led to death. Women were literally risking their lives for that pale, delicate look. Number 12. Tight corsets for a small waist. Back in the 18th and 19th centuries, women were all about the tiny waist. The smaller, the better. That was the ideal. To achieve this, they wore tightly laced corsets made from materials like whalebone or even metal. These corsets were designed to shape the body into that classic hourglass figure. To get that look, women had to lace these corsets so tight that it literally squeezed their ribs and organs. It wasn't just a slight discomfort. Corsets restricted their breathing, sometimes even causing them to faint or feel lightheaded. Over time, wearing these corsets could lead to long-term health problems like deformed ribs and weakened organs from the constant pressure. Would you wear something that made it hard to breathe just to look good? Number 13. Wax cone perfume hats. In ancient Egypt, maintaining a pleasant scent was just as important as looking stylish. To keep themselves smelling fresh, Egyptian women devised a rather unique method. They wore small cones made of wax or fat infused with fragrant oils right on top of their heads. As they went about their day, the heat from their bodies melted the wax, releasing delightful scents that masked any unpleasant body odor. It was a pretty clever solution that allowed them to smell divine, even in the warm Egyptian climate. But of course, there were some downsides. As the wax melted, it could drip into their hair or even stain their clothes. And if the scent was too strong, it could be overwhelming for those around them. And that's it, folks. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like the video so I can keep producing more videos like these.